What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope you all been having a great Wednesday. We're on the eve of what looks to be a major severe weather outbreak, the potential for a tornado outbreak, and a storm system that's going to affect people's lives negatively, unfortunately. We definitely need to stress the fact that y'all need to have a safe place out there in portions of Alabama, Mississippi, and now Tennessee. Have a plan. Take this serious. Just because a tornado doesn't hit your house doesn't mean it's hitting somebody else's and basically rocking someone's world negatively. So this is a big time event. This could potentially be as worse as some events in April of 2011. So this has a high ceiling of how bad it can be. There is the potential that it could bust and not be quite as bad. I'll talk about the scenarios of that and what could affect that. But we're going to break everything down. We're in the range of all the short-range modeling like the HRRR and the NAM. So we're going to break down. We can really get a good idea of how this is going to unfold and the ingredients in place of what's going to make it unfold. So if you guys have not subscribed, consider doing that. I talk weather here on the Eastern U.S., talk major events, and I'm just a guy that's really passionate about weather. My setup's probably not as appealing as a lot of other YouTubers who do weather, but I try to be genuine and I try to engage with my audience, and I love all you guys and thank you all for the support. We definitely, ahead of time, guys, if you pray about anything tonight, pray for the people in the Deep South. Like I said, someone's world is going to be unfortunately impacted negatively. So we're going to pray for no fatalities. We can rebuild things, but we can't get back people's lives. So definitely put that in your prayers tonight, guys. So let's go on and get going. Like the video if you do like it. It helps with the algorithm and the video getting out there. So much appreciated if you hit that like button. It really is, guys. I really appreciate all the support. So here it is. National Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center. If you don't know, and I try to break this down quickly in all my videos, but in the Storm Prediction Center Outlook Legend, you got levels 1 through 5. Level 1 is marginal, level 2 is slight, and level 3 is enhanced, level 4 is moderate, level 5 is high. It takes a lot for the Storm Prediction Center to drop a moderate. A lot, and it's already been placed 36 hours, 48 hours ahead of the event. So that tells you guys, well, about 36 hours at day 2. So that tells you guys, and this is a huge area. It's actually expanded north, and I want to talk about that a lot as much as possible. You guys in Tennessee, South Central Tennessee, western areas of Tennessee, this is going to be a major event. I'm telling you guys, I really think that areas of Tennessee could be just as impacted now as areas of Mississippi and Alabama. So if you're in Tennessee, Nashville, especially areas south and southwest, this is going to be a very impactful event for you guys. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a high risk when we wake up in the morning. High risk is the highest level you can go. So it's probably going to be right in here somewhere. Tornado threat up to 15%. That's going to get upgraded 30% chance inside here. And in the last second, it might get upgraded to 45% chance. That is, if you're thinking what percentage of what, that's 15% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any location. So that doesn't necessarily try to tell you there's a 15% chance. Y'all get what I'm saying. So the wind threat is shifted a little bit more further east because it's saying eventually this is going to go linear, which turns into a line of storms. The hail threat is a little bit further west where supercells can form and can generate hail cores. So you got a low-level jet that's digging right here, and it's going to be screaming over this area. You got plenty of shear. You got wind directions in the upper atmosphere, 5,000 feet in the air, whatever, going 2 different directions. You got 2 things going 2 different directions. It causes something to spin. That's how you get rotating thunderstorms. That's how this kind of happens, along with a lot of other things that you need to happen. So I'm going to look at the HRRR Model 1. If you're just a person who just knows basic things about weather, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. One thing I want to show you here, and one thing I want to talk about before I get into that, is check out all this convection firing up way in the early hours in the morning Thursday. This could be the thing that potentially busts this event, as in busted, as in it's a bust. Like I'm saying, the event is a bust. Like you say, a sports team is a bust or something like that. Means that it could end up, the outcome could end up verifying lower than what the Storm Prediction Center thinks. That means less severe weather. It's all this convection in the morning. And it was kind of the same situation last week. If all this convection in the morning takes a while to get on out of here, it's going to make it hard for the atmosphere to recover down here for supercells to develop. It kind of stabilizes the atmosphere more, but all things point to that not happening. But it could happen. So that all that gets on out of here, and what happens is the HRRR model starts to fire up supercells right here. And you notice these kind of have like a hook here. You know, it's kind of hard to really notice, but they all kind of have that same look where they kind of curve right here. It's like a comma. It's trying to tell you that all these are little supercells that are developing. And when you see that, you don't know a lot about weather, but if you're looking on like a radar or something and you see a storm with like a hook right like this, that normally, if you don't know how to look at like break down a storm, that tells you right there that there may be a rotation with the storm. That's a classic look of a supercell, where you got some kind of hail core right here and then a hook right here where the tornado is. So the tornado normally, not always, but is in the southwest edge of the storm or the southern edge of the storm. That's normally where it's sitting. So that's why when you're looking at a storm and you see pictures of tornadoes, it's not really, like 8 or 9 times out of 10, you're not seeing a lot of rain falling. It looks like sometimes you see clear skies and a tornado just coming out of the cloud. It's because of the edge of the storm. So that's why that. So this gets through. See supercells go all the way into Tennessee, and let's see if we can get this up and going. So this is what I'm saying here. You know, this storm, here's all the convection. It gets through, and I think if it does bust anywhere, it has the potential to bust really in Tennessee, where it takes longer for the convection to work its way north. But we'll see. And as that moves out, check out all these storms that get going in Tennessee. They have the same structure, the same look. They look like little mini supercells. All these could be spinning and rotating, and all of them could be. That's why the tornado threat has expanded more further north to just south of Nashville and into Nashville. This is getting into later in the afternoon Thursday. All these storms can be spinning, and it gets messy. Messy as in this the potential that it can get, man, just look. You know, you're getting into, when is this? 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. That is a supercell right there. Off the HRRR model, you know, it's not going to accurately predict exactly where a supercell is going to be. Supercell is rotating thunderstorm, if you don't know, but it is trying to show you where the storms are going to be just in the general area. So here's all the gradients in place. Basically, you have a warm sector and a moist sector here. Finally said it right for once. Building right here, and you got it building here as the low-level jets kicking here and throwing and just surging southerly winds out the Gulf. You have dew points. These are dew points, not temperatures, surging into the 60s and 70s. When you get dew points in the 60s and 70s, that is definitely, the air is definitely not, I guess you can say, stable, if there has not already been thunderstorms. So, yeah, dew points in the 60s and 70s, very moist. That is, when you get dew points that high, that is an ingredient for severe weather, and you have them surging all the way into the 60s and near 70, almost all the way into the 60s, all the way into Kentucky. This is a definitely different look. Last time you had a wedge in place, and you had a lot of more stable air interfering with the storm threat. So that makes me think there's going to be a more widespread severe weather threat just based off dew points. So you look at the convective energy available, the CAPE, check it out building as we're getting into Thursday early afternoon, getting into values of 3,000 joules per kilogram. That is very high CAPE, mixed in with all the shear in place. There's plenty of convective energy available for this. You look at now the supercell composite parameter mixed in and the capability of supercells forming, and it really just gets going. It fires up, and values get almost maxed out here at the meter right here. And I mean, this is much higher than the event last week. Much bigger area, and this looks scary, to be honest. Supercells rotating thunderstorms, so really everywhere you're seeing that is a chance for a spin up. You look at the significant tornado parameter, begins to max out as you get into Thursday afternoon and evening. And you have values that's trying to pick up around the Mississippi-Alabama border where tornadic storms can form, and it works all the way into Tennessee. Then it fizzles out as you get later in the night. But here's helicity updraft. So basically it's trying to tell you where an updraft can occur. So basically, it's trying to tell you maybe where the potential where a tornado could drop, where the path would be. And check it out, all this right here. It's just, that's why you have moderate to high risk, or you're going to have a high risk, is this right here. I mean, that's a signal right here, pretty high outlook showing here the potential for tornadoes. I mean, right here you have like, it's trying to tell you there's going to be some kind of wedge in northern Alabama near Huntsville. But, you can't predict where a tornado is going to be. You can try to when you actually see the storm on radar. But here's the NAM. I want to show you this too. Check out all the convection firing up earlier in the afternoon. The NAM really isn't as scary looking because you have some supercells that form right here, but then it quickly turns into a line of storms. It's definitely not quite as scary as the HRRR model that you're going to be getting thrown all over social media, which deserves to be because it's better safe than sorry, honestly. But this quickly turns into a line of storms. Check it out. It works all the way into South Carolina, North Carolina. You get a line of storms. So that is scenario. You look at the significant tornado parameter according to the NAM, and it's high too. Not quite as high as the HRRR, but it's very high. You look up in the Tennessee, and it gets very high, just as high as Alabama, Mississippi. That's kind of the newer thing today. Is this has really trended more north than the Tennessee. So it looks just as dangerous for areas of Tennessee as in Mississippi and Alabama if these models are correct. So this is going to be a dangerous situation that's going to start to unfold tomorrow afternoon. All the ingredients are basically in place. The only thing that we can save it here is that morning convection. If it lingers around too long, then it helps to stabilize the air, and the atmosphere will not be able to recover quick enough. So that's all I got, guys. This will be the last video for the update before the storm system. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a blessed night, and keep the people in the Deep South in your prayers tonight for sure. I know they'll be in mine. Y'all have a blessed evening.